Alright, so as most of you might know, every week in Albion there's this Conqueror challenge that you can get a Grand Conqueror's chest reward for if you get 20k might, and some of you might think that's a lot of might to get and it could take quite a lot of time. So in this video we are going to be speedrunning the Conqueror's challenge, and this is basically what I do every week when this challenge pops. I just take 30 minutes to 1 hour to complete it. And the way you do this is by going to the black zone. So for that we are going to be bringing a set that doesn't cost that much money, and my set of choice right now is using a normal bow. We have to use a leather mercenary jacket for sustain in the tougher camps. We have soldier boots for some extra healing, and we have the guardian helmet for some shields when we need them, and this can also save us from ganks quite often. And yeah, tier 7 is all we need. I do have a lot of spec on my armor, however on my bow I do not have quite that much spec. So you can see if you compare 1200 IP on the bow with my almost 1500 IP on the jacket, there's a massive difference there. So you can still do this even if you do not have spec. If you have 1200 IP, you can go to the tier 6, tier 7 zones just fine, and that's enough. We're also going to be bringing a siphoned energy, because if we go to the higher tier zones we want all the IP we can get, and we are going to be overcharging because 30 minutes is enough for completing the challenge. Also, if we run into PvP encounters, this is very cost effective to use. Another set I really like to use is using a light crossbow that is also very fast at clearing, but just make sure you get a set that can clear camps fast. And for the potion slot, I'm going to be using a Gigantify potion. That is in case I run into 1v1 fights, it's useful. However, if you want to be safe, you should bring invisibility potions, and these also allow you to escape from groups of gankers. For food, I like to use an Avalonian stew, and it is quite important to use HP regen food, because once you do a pull you want to regenerate your life as quickly as possible, so you can go on to the next pull as fast as you can. So I'm going to be going for the cost-effective option, which is the Avalonian mutton stew in 0.1 quality, but you could also go for the tier 8. It's only 10k cheaper and it gives you better bonuses. So this is all we're going to bring. If you want, and if you have the gathering skills, obviously you can bring your tools, but that just means you risk more. And this is 600k silver, and we are going to go straight to the safe portal and travel to wherever it may take us. And here we are, let's check. We are in a tier 5 zone. We are not that far away from the portal, so what we're gonna do is, as we clear camps, we are going to be making our way deeper to the higher quality zones. So for example, here we have quality 5, and we really want to get to those because it gives more loot and it's just better fame. So right now I'm just going to run straight to this exit, and I'm going to ignore any of the camps on this map. If there were camps on the way to the exit, I would do them, but otherwise I'm not gonna take the time to run out of my way to find the camps on this tier 5 zone. If we find these circle bosses, I like to stop and take them down because they contribute to the journal. But let's see if this guy wants to fight. If he wants to fight, I'm going to fight him just fine. It seems like he's not interested. So to do this clearing a bit safer, I'm going to take down the lower tier monsters first. And then I'm going to disengage so that I can heal back up. And I'm going to eat my HP regen food, and you can see just what a difference it makes for you to be able to reset fights quicker. So it seems like that Claymore was not interested in fighting, so I'm just gonna spend the time to take down this monster. And this also contributes to the Conqueror's challenge, because these monsters give quite a good amount of might if you take them down. And the normal bow is quite good because it has a very good mix between AoE damage and single target with the E. So it allows you to clear groups, but then if there's a tougher mob, it also allows you to clear that one quite quickly. And we just got 100k fame, so this is also very good at, this method is very good at faming up your weapons and your sets, and it is what I recommend anyone be doing. And here we're going to the tier 6 exit, but on the way we're also going to be checking some camps because they're almost, it's only a small detour to check them. This one is inactive, so we're gonna go to the middle of the map and find that one. And as I'm walking through these maps, I also keep an eye over here to see just how many enemies could be in the map. So if it's 0 to 5, that means it's quite safe, and if you do run into a fight, it's going to almost always be a 1v1 fight, which is what we like. And for the normal bow rotation, I like to begin by using my E and auto-attacking twice as fast as I can, then using my E again so that it is put on cooldown and it comes back up the fastest. And this just allows you to maximize your damage and your clear speed. And since these are tier 5 mobs, we can quite safely pull larger groups of them, as it's not gonna be that hard to take them down. And if we run low on HP, we can use our jacket ability. As we clear, we keep turning off the UI and keeping an eye out for the edges of the screen, just so in case somebody tries to gank us. And you see objective is completed. That took less than a minute and we got 800 might just for one camp. So yeah, we only need 20k might, and we keep doing this until we get it. And as we run through the zones, we're also going to keep an eye out for smugglers, because if we find smugglers, those also give quite a good amount of might for little effort. So hopefully we run into those. Either crates or the monsters that guard the smuggler you have to free. Both of these very good might, give very good might. And this camp is inactive, so we are going to go to this one in the south. And if that one, after we complete that one, we're just going to exit the map. And again, as we run through the zone, we're just maximizing the surface area that we're covering and trying to see if there are any objectives we are interested in taking, like upgraded mobs or the smugglers. And seems like this camp is also inactive, so this is quite an unlucky map, I would say. There are maps that you can find where every single camp is activated, and you can find 6 camps in one map, and that gets you very close to finishing your Conqueror challenge. So we're gonna use our food as a timer. We are at 26 minutes left, and hopefully one food is enough. Sometimes, if you're unlucky with the objectives, one food isn't enough, but I almost always finish the challenge in 1 hour, which is 2 foods. So here we are in a tier 6 zone, and we are going to run first up to the northeast, since eventually we are going to be exiting in the southeast. And sometimes I also like to stop for these larger groups of mobs like this one, because it is quite efficient to fight this many mobs at once. It gives you a good amount of fame and might, so why not take the time to do it. And for larger groups of mobs, sometimes you have to pop your jacket, and this is why we bring it, because if we run low on HP, you can see just how quickly we can bring our HP back to almost full. So for tougher pulls, tougher fights, we need the mercenary jacket. Alright, so let's see if these 2 camps here are active. As you can see, this is a bit higher risk because it's 6 to 15 players on this map, but hopefully we'll be fine. And this one is inactive, so let's move on to the one on the south. And this one is active, so we're quickly going to clear it. And we still need 2 mobs, but these are going to be enough. So between pulls, you should wait for your HP to come fully back up before you pull the next one. And since we're in tier 6, you can see this gives 1100 might. And it's going to be very quick for us to complete the challenge. And as soon as we're done, we just move on to the next one. And I think here could be a camp, but the shape of it also can tell you if it's a camp or not. I think that might not actually be a possible camp. So I'm just going to go to the east camp and then over here. And then I'm going to exit to Driftwood Vale in the southeast. And we have an enemy here. Is it a ganker? It seems like... I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, honestly, with that build, so we're just going to move on. And here we have a circle mob, so we're gonna take the time to take it down. And we got hit by that, which isn't great. So we are going to use our jacket to heal back up. This camp is also inactive. We're getting very unlucky with the camps today. I have a tier 3 there. Interesting. We're just gonna leave him alone. Not much point to fighting him. We have another circle mob here. I'm gonna take the time to take these down. If you're strictly focusing on doing the challenge, you should not be doing these, and you should also not be pulling a crystal creature. That's obviously not a great thing to do. We're gonna mount back up, and this time we're gonna pull with our Q so that we do not pull with the Thetford key. And this camp is active, thankfully. And just one more mob. So right now we're going to be focusing on taking down only one mob. If there's any more, is not going to be helpful. Actually, it is going to be helpful because we just unlock a map. So we're going to also clear this. And we also get access to a boss lair, and it takes us all the way back across the map. And for that reason, I'm going to skip it. It's gonna take me 3 minutes just to run there and back. So I'm just going to move on to the higher quality zones and skip that boss lair. That's a very unfortunate position, but I really think it's not worth the time to run that way and back. We're gonna get more might and more rewards by just playing in the higher quality zones. So this is tier 5 again, but it is higher quality and our goal is to get to Driftwood Hollow. So let's just do the camps on the way and then in the tier 7 zone see how much might we can get. And every camp is inactive. This is so unlucky. Yeah, well, let's see if the tier 7 is going to be kinder to us. So this is why I said that sometimes it takes 1 hour instead of just 30 minutes if you run into a ton of inactive camps. And we also haven't been fortunate to find any smuggler objectives on our travels so far. So yeah, that also contributes to the rate you'll be able to finish this Conqueror's challenge, but it's still fast, even if everything is unlucky. We also have a circle mob. We're gonna... Oh, actually you have a smuggler wagon here. So right as I complain, it gives it to me. It's only a green one, but it is a tier 7 zone, so hopefully we can take this without running into any trouble. And I don't think we will run into any trouble because there's nobody on this map, so we're just gonna run straight over there. Sometimes you can be lucky and run into a large smuggler wagon with a ton of crates, and just nobody taking them. And I had that happen to me once, and I finished my Conqueror challenge in 5 minutes, so it depends on your luck. And we're gonna switch to our Wanderlust because it's gonna allow us to quickly carry this and then mount back up to run the other way. And here we go. Don't forget to switch our abilities back. And this is going to give us almost 3000 might. So this already is great progress towards our goal. And since we're close to this camp now, we're just gonna go right over here. And it is active, and there is an enemy player, which is very high tier, so we do not want to fight him. This Star Foxy guy. That Badon is going to 100% win the fight. We could try to switch to a more kiting build, but it's risky, right? So we are going to run into him in the next camp probably, because when somebody is doing camps just like you are, most of the time you can run into them again and again as you move between the camps. And this one is inactive. And yeah, I'm leaving that camp alone because that player just cleared it. So it's gonna take 2 minutes for it to respawn, and it's better for me to use my time trying to go in a different place while I wait for it to come back up. But the Bow of Badon is also a very good weapon for doing this type of content, and it clears very fast due to the E ability, which can take down packs of monsters very, very fast. And we have an enemy player here, and he seems to be struggling a bit. And we're also struggling a bit ourselves, so we're gonna quickly bait him, so maybe he sees I'm taking a lot of damage and he's going to try to dismount on me. And let's see if he wants to fight now. And he already messed up big time. We should be able to catch him. Oh no, he went off screen. Okay. That's unlucky. And I also played very bad because I think he had the sprint to get away, and he did. So we're just going to mind our own business and go back to clearing. It's not a good idea to use our boots like that, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And that is why it's not a good idea, because he may chase us down, and he has Wanderlust, so we're going to be very careful. He's not gonna want to engage unless we make a mistake and take a lot of damage from mobs, so I'm gonna try to bait him by doing this. I cannot take him down. Oh, we have an enemy player here. Okay, we're going to see what's going on here. Cannot run into him because we're struggling a bit here. I don't want to get ratted by the other player. I want to fight this Daybreaker, but we see the rat. Okay, so we defeat this guy and now we have to see what we do against this. And he missed, so now he has the Wanderlust. So we're going to try to... And there we go, we managed to take them both down. That was very close. He had the invisibility potion, so I had to bait him there. And yeah, I really cannot commentate those fights. Sorry for just going radio silent there, but I was so focused on taking them both down. And yeah, there we go. We win the fight, we win the rat, and the normal bow is quite a good weapon. And we see that this guy is a bit sad, so when people send me these nice whispers, what I like to do is just link them, the weapon that I took from and the player is not online. Okay, sometimes you're not able to actually reply because they just rage quit, so yeah, that is unfortunate for him, what can I say. But anyway, let's go back to what we were doing, because PvP is fun, but it doesn't help for our speedrun challenge, right? Since it doesn't give any might. And since we have a lot of silver right now on us, I really want to go back, but I also want to clear the camp first, so it's a bit risky that I'm staying with millions of silver on me right now. But I'm going to take the risk. And yeah, so I had to bait him there in the fight, because otherwise he was just gonna get away with his Wanderlust and Invisibility Potion combo. Because I don't have any good way to purge the boots, so I had to make him commit to the fight. And then I was lucky enough to be able to hit my W to not have him get away again with the Invisibility Potion. And we're done with this. It's a common cache. Okay, fine, I'm gonna spend the time. So, quick tip here, I'm not able to open the chest unless I clear the mobs here, but what I can do is just clear one of the mobs, and then if I go from this side, I can open the chest without aggroing the other mob. And there's no point in clearing more than that, because once the camp is done, if you clear more, you're not going to get any fame for the monsters, so your goal at that point is to... And what the... Okay, so the only time I do not bring my tools, I run into a 7-1, 7-2, and then 6-3 resource all next to each other. So this is a reason why you should probably bring your tools with you, because I just missed out on a lot of silver there. But it's fine. We're just gonna stick to our objective. And we're gonna try to stop getting hit constantly. And also what I forgot to do in that fight is just use my overcharge, so I absolutely should have overcharged there. And I absolutely should not pull every single mob in this camp at once, especially when they're upgraded. So we're just gonna go from this side instead. And do our clearing a bit more methodical. And this still doesn't work apparently, so I'm just gonna clear this side first. Our food is almost running out. We still have a beef stew in case we want to stay longer, but let's see. Now I want to clear this circle mob without aggroing the entire camp if possible, but that's gonna be hard with our Thetford cape. And we managed to do it, but now we're going to have to run away from this because he has this AoE ability. And of course, I managed to. This is so annoying. I really have to clear this first. And this is one of the reasons why Thetford Cape is not always the best option to go for. So there we go, we managed to clear that, and I'm not going to... Actually, I am going to go for the circle one. It takes longer to clear, and we are so close to finishing our objective that we could just do one of the easier mobs and be done with this quicker, but it gives a lot of fame, so might as well do it. One problem right now is that we're running out of mana, so we should take a bit of a break from fighting, because if somebody jumps us now, we are gonna have a hard time defending ourselves with so little mana. So we're not gonna use our W, and that helps us conserve a lot of the mana, because W doesn't do that much damage compared to our E and Q abilities, which use less mana, and we can spam them more often. And we have an enemy on that side of the map. I am not able to inspect him, but he's not gonna be able to get here. And it's also just a random nature staff, so it's time to leave. And we still have one more camp that we were supposed to clear. There actually could be one more here in the middle. That one's a bit riskier. And I would like to recall with my items, so I'm just going to go to the one that I already started. And finally we find a smuggler objective. Thank you. I really wanted to show these off. So these can deal quite a lot of damage, so make sure you dodge every ability. And there we go, we take one down. And let's see how much this gives. So when we free the smuggler, we get 750 might, and it takes like 30 seconds to do. So every time you run into one of these, you should take the time to clear them, as it progresses your Conqueror's Challenge quite efficiently. We're already at 13k, and half an hour has passed. So this isn't the speediest clear for the Conqueror's Challenge we've had, but it's fine. We're just going to clear this camp. Afterwards, we're going to recall and do one more trip back into the Black Zone so that we can finish off our Conqueror's Challenge. And we are very low, which isn't great. And we also have no regen food anymore, which also means we have to waste a lot of time waiting for our HP to come back up between fights. But we're gonna do that until we just have to finish this one more camp. I really want these to stack up, but seems like they don't want to help that. I'm a bit paranoid. I thought I saw a name in the south, but I think I'm just paranoid. Yeah. As you play Albion, you start seeing names at the edge of your screen when there aren't any. And you also miss every ability on mobs that aren't moving. We're almost done. If we clear these two and this upgraded one, it should be enough. Just wait a bit for our health. Actually, it's probably not going to be enough. We're still going to have to clear that one. Have an enemy. Yeah, we don't want to be caught with so little HP. I'm gonna see if he tries to dismount, but it seems like he just ran away. Anyway, we only need to take one mob, so out of these two, we're gonna focus on the unupgraded one and just take it down as fast as we can. There we go, and we're done. 1600 might for a camp in this area, so it's very good. Take our tomes, and it's time to recall back, even though we only have 5k left. We're going to recall. 240k silver, that's quite a lot, because we did manage to get quite a lot of loot. So that's not a bad trip, I would say, especially with 2 PvP encounters, and in 30 minutes we made 1.4 million. Obviously, we didn't get basically any loot out of the camp chests, so sometimes you can get much more lucky and get a lot of loot. This time we didn't, so we had to make up by doing PvP. And let's put everything into our tabs. And there we go, we need a food because we want the regen food, so let's just splurge a bit and take the tier 8 one. And we're gonna go straight back out. And we go to a tier 7 zone directly, and that's nice. Let's see what tier this is, and I think it's good tier actually, it's tier 4, yep, that's good. And the closest camp should be this one, if it's active. And it is. Wow, we're just dumped straight into this, and that's great. We're gonna use our shield to mitigate some of the damage. And that's not great that we run into that, but it's fine. Use our regen food. And we also have a circle mob here, which is great, because we're gonna be able to clear this very fast. I'm gonna reset this so that we can get our HP back up. And then we're gonna go back into taking him down. And there we go, 1500 might, very fast. We see we get a little bit less might than in the tier 5, in the quality 5 tier 7 zone, but it's still absolutely worth it to take these down. It's also a bit quicker since the mobs are slightly weaker in lower quality zones. We also have a tier 8 here that we might go to next if this isn't enough, but if we keep getting lucky with the camps and they're active, it might just be enough on this map to finish the challenge. Yeah, we're almost done, so 2 more camps should be enough. Or maybe 3. And we have an uncommon one. Maybe we get some loot. 260k. That's nice. That's about average, I would say, for a tier 7. Quality 4. And let's see, we still have 2 more potential camps. So one over here. Oh, and this is great. We also get 1 more of these. And we pull them so that they stack up and we can easily hit them with all our abilities at once. Just gonna mitigate a bit of damage with our shields. And there we go. This gives us, and again, 750 might. These are always the same, no matter what tier or quality zone you find them in. Even if you run through a tier 5 zone, you should stop for them because they're just gonna give the same might as if you're in a tier 8 zone. And this one is also active, so what a great zone. Seems like our luck has turned around a bit here at the end, because we were dumped straight into a tier 7 zone and we have almost all of the camps so far have been active in this zone. So let's see if we finish this one. Yeah, this is the last one that we need. And we need to stop chain pulling everything. And just one more. This should be enough. And there we go, we're done. We get one more common tome cache for our troubles. And we can go back and we could... Okay, fine, I'm going to run. So this is gonna be 80k silver. And it's gonna take 1 minute to run back to our portal, so I'm just gonna do it. Usually if I'm a couple of zones away, it's not worth the time to run back to your safe portal. Because you also risk getting ganked during the run back. Whereas if you just sit in place and use your travel back ability for silver, you do not risk running into gankers. But this was fair, close enough. It took me 30 seconds, so fair enough. And let's see what we get out of our chest. And there we are, we have 389 estimated market value. And we're gonna claim our chest and we're gonna open it. And we get 735, so that gives us 350k of silver just like that. And this is a very good way of making consistent silver every week because yeah, it's quick to do, and you also get some very good fame. So this is 400k fame in the tome that we can use on any set we want. So there we go. This is the method I use every week to get my Conqueror's chest and also get a bit of PvP, and if I'm lucky, get some good loot from the solo camps. So thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.